So today we're trying to build something on Polymarket. I haven't actually thought what we are gonna build, but something using Polymarket, try to make some profits or do some arbitrage or something without actually writing code. So we'll be using Kwala to build some kind of workflow so that we can uh, trade prediction markets. Um, So I actually just went back to ChatGPT to generate some ideas, and it gave me this one. So basically, in Polymarket, what you do is, let's say you have this event, this market. It says US strikes Iran by whatever date it is. So let's say I am betting that US will strike Iran by 3rd March, and I place this one share of this. I won't do it, but I'm just showing you how you can like place a order. So whenever this date comes, like 3rd March, you would get the result of this, whether it actually did strike Iran or not. And Polymarket actually works on Polygon, on Ethereum EVM based smart contracts, and it follows something called a club architecture, central limit order book, which is pretty common in centralized exchanges, the big market makers and those kind of Wall Street firms. But in like smart contract architecture, they have implemented it in a way that is kind of hybrid. They have a smart contract as well as some backend too, but the settlement, I think it happens on the contract. I'm not really sure, so don't quote me on this, but it's like a hybrid architecture, but a lot of the things are available on the contract. So what we can do is I actually like this idea because it's like you redeem the winning token. So let's say that I placed a yes that US does strike Iran by 3rd March, and if I win, then I would be able to redeem those whatever the shares I had bought. And I'm not sure if the redeem step is I need to do it manually or not, because I haven't really played with this. So we'll just figure that out in a while. How many of you have played, like tried out Polymarket? Give raise your hands. Tell me how was your experience. Okay, so you basically redeem those tokens, or I'm not sure if there's a redeem step. You just get it transferred to your wallet, and you convert it to USDC, or I'm also not sure if this was USDC. It's probably USDC anyway. Yeah, it's in dollar. And then let's say you want to reallocate those funds automatically without you having to bother going to some protocol. You set it up beforehand, and whatever let's say you're like a poly market analyst or like a prediction market trader, and you just want your funds to go to some safe vault, like a stable coin vault, where you're kind of not worried about losing that money once you win it through your trading on Polymarket. So you just set up one workflow on Kwala. I'll just show it to you how you do that, and then you already have configured some kind of vault, some stable coin vault where you earn some maybe good enough yield to fight inflation and maybe some more yield, and you just keep earning yield that way. Um, so there obviously we need to go through the contracts once. This is, I think, the main Polymarket contract, CTF exchange, and there are a few more as well. We'll figure out which ones we need for the task. But essentially, what you would do is, these contracts will probably generate an event whenever this thing is over, like whenever US strikes Iran or doesn't strike Iran. So if, let's say, I've placed a trade for 3rd March, so by 3rd March you'll know the result. If it's a yes, then there would be an event, most likely. Or they even have API, so some kind of API. We could check in the API as well. And let's say there's an event saying, okay, US did strike Iran, so you win the whatever you had bought. So that event can actually be watched here in Kwala. So basically, this is like the Kwala dashboard, and this is a different one. This is a different workflow, but you can just name your workflow something something. Then you have a trigger. So the trigger here would be something like US, whatever the event is. It's probably some event name here. I'm not sure. See, okay, there isn't an event here, but there's probably some event in some code somewhere in probably a different contract where the funds are received. Um, yeah, so whenever that event happens, we would have a trigger saying execute after an event and repeat after every such event. And the event name is probably something like your market event has completed, or you won the won the pot. So you can pay. We'll go through this in detail, but you just paste your contract details, the address, and this would probably be Polymarket contracts, or in case we need to write a wrapper contract, we'll do that and select the event, and then okay, let me just yeah. Then you'd have an action. So the action would be, in our case, it would be to reallocate those funds. So you would with redeem those funds. I think there's some kind of withdrawal used for USDC to USDC conversion during withdrawals. Yeah, so you'd probably withdraw those funds to your own wallet, or like Kwala Smart Wallet or something, and then you'd reallocate those funds to some whatever. You could just give it to a lending protocol, or to some yield farm, or for staking, or whatever you want. It could be something like a supply function or like a deposit function, something of that sort. And you can pass your event parameters, like the event which happened in Polymarket. And yeah, roughly this would be the workflow. Um, let's now actually go through these contracts and their APIs, to figure out which events do we actually need to watch. So what I'll do is I'll just copy the content of their docs and put everything in ChatGPT or cloud, and ask it to figure out what is it we actually need. Let's do that in the next video.